Alex, you're talking to Eric and Matt. How's it going?
Oh, not too bad. How are you guys?
Honestly, I'm a little shaky. That was real rough. Yeah.
I'll be fine eventually.
Eventually. In time. We find our new normal, and that's okay. We find the people that we love.
Yeah,
But
it was one of those weird things.
What would you like to talk about?
Well, so I called last week, and I was told to call back this week just so people had more information, which actually turned out to be a good thing for me, too, because I was I had to take care of something on the spot after I hung up with you guys, so yeah, lovely way the universe works. Anyway, so one of the things that really frustrates me is in New Zealand, there was a series of shootings at mosques. I think it was like 2 mosques and 49 people were killed by, several people. It was, something orchestrated by one guy who, wanted to have this whole white power rally with a few, supremacist friends, and, they targeted Muslims. And one of the things that came about from that were a lot of people on social media were saying things along the lines of, oh, well, these people are following a bad religion and they're bad people. So, either they deserve what happened or it's not a big deal that it happened. And, I don't agree with the Islamic beliefs and I don't agree with the religion, but I don't think the way to address it is to act violently towards the people holding these beliefs.
No, and neither do most Christians.
If you think about it, we have to address this as a matter of these people decided that something about this group of people made them deserving of being killed. It's a matter of nobody is really safe if we just let this slide and we think, oh, you know what? It doesn't matter that this happened this one time or to this one group, because now it can happen to anybody. If somebody says, oh, maybe a church, I don't like these people, let me go attack them because I think that's what they deserve. Or, some teacher that, and it happens time and time again. It is really,
Alex, churches have been getting bombed out too. This is something that I'm sad to say is not just indicative of where we are currently. It's a level of hate and bigotry that has promoted and pushed for violence for as long as there have been people.
It's a fundamental part of the human condition that there's going to be some portion of the population that is prone to using violence to solve the things that they can't address in any other way. That we, as I was talking about before with the study where we create these fictional groups where we consider others othered, and they're not part of us, that can be only mildly annoying, or it can lead to these sorts of sectarian violence or violence directed at any particular subgroup. And it's I don't want to just write it off as, oh, this shit's going to happen, because certainly we should be doing things about it, but this shouldn't have caught anybody by surprise. These sorts of things have happened over and over again in different areas. And I would hope that while the world is generally getting better, I think Steven Pinker's done some good work in showing where we improve, but it's not, I don't think there's people ignoring it. I think that we are inundated with a 24-hour news cycle where it's breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news, and none of it, or a good chunk of it, is nothing that would remotely have been considered breaking news at any point in the past. Oh, there's been a shooting at a mosque in New Zealand. Breaking news, the president just tweeted, how awesome he is. I think it's something that's wearing people down, which makes it difficult to focus on individual issues. Which is why those of us who can see these things should be actively working to put people in positions of authority who are actually going to address these real problems and not necessarily focus on minor problems. And I don't want to commit the fallacy of relative privation where we only focus on the biggest issue. No, we should focus on lots of issues. We have lots of people to do lots of things, but there's no quick and easy solution to any of it. And it's not just religion versus religion or ideology versus ideology. It is about a particular mindset that will favor violent action in response to any perceived threat.
The good news is we do have some guidelines that we've found help, working towards human well-being. And I think especially poignant in this circumstance is respecting the human, but realizing that the ideas are not necessarily deserving of respect. And, you know, we're not here in the United States privy to being able to make, you know, governmental change. Not yet. We're working on it. But in the meantime, we can be examples of it.
I did solve the gun problem, though. I have a solution, and that is only women can own guns, because overwhelmingly these shooters and violent actors are male. So there's a lot of really good benefits.
You have never met my ex. I would not be sitting here. It's fucking scary.
You are sitting here, so clearly, you know, there's a difference between threatening you with a weapon and actually killing you. But let's, you know, give women the gun, and that way, you know, when you want to go out and shoot on the range, you got to get a date.
Hey,
but
how crazy you have to be to decide, I don't like these people, so I'm going to kill them. I mean, that's not the way to go about.
It's creating that other. It's you know, when you rob someone of their humanity so much that you put them in a bin and you stop thinking about them as other thinking, feeling people, it becomes real easy.
Let me ask you this, Alex: is war ever justified?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know why people have to turn to attacking one another physically to solve diplomatic problems or, you know, things that can be talked about.
Is violence in self-defense against violence ever justified?
Yes.
Okay, I agree. And I think that becomes the justification for war, because we have to protect ourselves from aggressors. And I think that becomes the justification for acts like this. They're not truly justified, but it's not a stretch to go from violence is justified to defend myself and, you know, others, to these people are a threat and nobody can see it but me. And that's how they get to justify this violence in their head. And getting people to have a reasonable understanding of when there is a clear and present danger, when there is an immediate relevant threat versus when there's the appearance of a threat, or whether your subjective opinion is that it's appearance of a threat. We have vigilante justice all the time, and there are cases when almost any of us would say, oh, I completely understand. When there's the parent of a child who was abused and molested and tortured and killed, and they go and kill the perpetrator, generally we look at that and go, wow, I understand how they got there, and that grief and that desire for vengeance. So let's not make this, I mean, yes, these are terrible acts, and yes, people are quite often disturbed in some sense, but they are not as outrageous or hard to reach as you think. It's just that you don't have the same perception of what is a threat that these people do. And so that means we need to focus more on mental health issues. We need to focus more on encouraging people to engage in skepticism, critical thinking, and humanism, so that they don't take a perceived threat and then act upon it as if they were actually in danger.
That makes a lot of sense.
I have zero things to add to that. I think you...
That's because I just fixed the whole world in 2 sentences.
Okay, maybe not skeptical. Hashtag skeptic, but
if
Alex,
only they'd listen.
Hopefully this was a good talk.
Yes.
Thank you for your call.
Thank you for calling in.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for talking.
Thank you.